Guys, welcome back to another video. Now, I seem to keep getting these things at the moment, and I don't know why. Obviously, as you guys know, I love a Glock, and as you can see, today we're looking at the Marui Glock 19 Gen 4. Now, the Gen 3 versus the Gen 4. The Gen 3 is my preference. I've always preferred the Gen 3 over the Gen 4. However, if you are a lefty, as opposed to being right-handed like I am, a Gen 4 makes a lot more sense because obviously you can reverse the magazine catch. But there are other couple of reasons why people go for a Gen 4 over a Gen 3. So today I thought I'd do an unboxing. Now I managed to pick this up again. It was second-hand. However, from what I can tell, it's basically brand new. It's had very little use. So we're going to sort of unbox this, see what it's like. And you can obviously compare this to my review of the Gen 3 as well. And potentially, if you want to, I can obviously do a comparison between the two. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Without further ado though, let's have a look and see what we've got in here then. So, nice box as usual from Marui. Inside the box, we've obviously got our packaging material and we've also got our manual. In the manual, we're going to have the other bits and pieces, obviously some Japanese stuff, and we've also got some targets and stuff like that, so that's all really good stuff. Here we go, this is what we've got inside the box. So, again, Marui do a really good job of displaying this stuff, and you can see here, we've got information on the 4th generation model. We've got a little thing about the hop-up on here as well. Now you can see the main difference between, if you look back at my Gen 3 video versus the Gen 4 video box, is we've got these back straps. Now it's another part of the Gen 4 system of Glock. Now they obviously have the ambidextrous magazine catch, which the Gen 3 is just a one really for right-hand shooters only. As I was saying, we have these back straps. Now basically what you have on here is there's a groove on the back of the pistol here, and there's a little tab underneath, and basically you can insert these back straps in here to broaden or widen the grip depending on your preference. Personally, I've got quite big hands. I prefer the normal grip as is. I think it's fairly comfortable and I don't need to change that out. But if you've got enormous hands, you're probably not going to go for a 19, but you might prefer that slightly wider back. The other difference with these is that some of these have a beaver tail. And what the beaver tail is basically it's a part which extends out the back here. It's common on real steel pistols to stop what we call slide bite, which is where as the slide comes forwards, it sort of traps against your hand, or as it recoils back, it can cut against your hand. Not something we really have a problem with in Airsoft though, so we don't really need to worry about that. But anyway, let's have a look at what we get then. So obviously we've got our pistol, magazine. We have our Gen 4 accessory box, which is nice. Now let's open that up. We've got a pack of BBs. And we've got our barrel plug. Our little dry fire widgets. These are really handy for if you're doing any testing and stuff like that. Or if you're just a big child and want to just sort of muck around with them. We've also got a pin, which is unusual. And also a tool. Now what these are for is if you do want to run the back strap, you will need to replace the pin at the back here that holds the hammer unit in place with the longer pin that's supplied, and you'd use to push that out, and you'd use this tool to do so. The reason why you have to do that is that there's nothing to support the back strap at the top here. You have to have the longer pin so it clips into place. So in a little while I'll show you how that works. So we'll pop all those bits over to one side for now. Let's have a look at what else we've got. Obviously got a magazine, standard style, Gen 3 if you like magazine. The Gen 3 mags, I believe, still have the cutout on both sides. Let me just clarify that actually. I'll get one of my Gen 3s out. There we go, there's a Gen 3 mag. You can see we have the cutouts on both sides. Other than that, though, pretty unremarkable. We've got the nice Glock Austria markings on the bottom here, and the 9mm marking at the top there. We've got the curved seat on the gas router, which is standard Toka Marui. And other than that, it's a gas magazine. We've got our Toka Marui Glock made in Japan markings at the bottom. So let's have a look at the pistol then. Let's get this box out of the way. Also worth mentioning, in the box you also get an unjamming rod. Other than that, you also got your back straps and that's it. So here's the pistol then. Now, looks very similar to the Gen 3. Obviously slide, I would argue, is probably the same, or close to being the same. If we look, this is a Gen 3 slide. You can see the serial number is different on this one. The main difference you'll find between the two, though, is that if we look at the front, you will see that the guide rod is a lot smaller on the Gen 3 than it is on the Gen 4. Now, the reason why they did this on the Gen 4 was to be able to fit a slightly different style recoil guide rod, and with multiple springs to really soften the impact of the recoil on the real steel pistol, rather than just having a standard guide rod and a standard spring. Obviously, in the airsoft world, we didn't really need to replicate this, but Toka Marui have done so, which is impressive all the same. So we'll pop that over one side anyway. So on here, obviously you've got our Glock markings. The serial number is BCAY482 on both the slide and the outer barrel. If we look on the other side, you can see we've got Glock 19 Gen 4 Austria 9x19. And all your usual Glock bits and pieces. You've got takedown levers here, a slide catch on this side only, not on the right side of the pistol, on the left only. And we've got a magazine catch, which again is reversible. So you can pop this out and put it onto the other side if you need to, if you are left-handed. Other than that, it's pretty much very similar to what we've already had and already seen on the Gen 3. So what we'll do is we'll pull it apart and see if we've got any differences. Now, obviously, checking differences, refer back to my other video on the Gen 3. But again, if you guys would like to see a comparison side by side, then do let me know. I can certainly do that, no problem. So to separate the upper and lower, we want to obviously cock the pistol and then pull the disassembly tabs down, and we can push the slide forwards. Okay. Now, we'll look at the lower first. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that there are some changes here. The hammer assembly at the back here looks vastly the same. The only thing I would say is, looking at the hammer, it looks slightly different in that there's a bit more material here. I could be wrong, though. I'm just going on what I can remember of my Gen 3, which I haven't messed around with too much recently. Other difference in here is obviously you've got your magazine catch, which is a bit different. It's a different style spring in here as well. Basically, it's just easier to reverse. Now, if you want to reverse the magazine catch, you have to press this steel tab in here, which is your spring for it. You have to push it in this way, and it will then push forwards. You can then push the magazine catch out, drop the spring out, flip it over, put the spring back in position. So again, push the magazine catch back through, and then you need to pull try and get it so you guys can see it in here. You need to pull the spring across and back towards the back of the pistol. So that's locked in position. And then after all that faffing, you've got the magazine catch on the other way around, which I'm going to put back because I'm right-handed and I don't want it around that way. Notice we've got a slide catch here, which is only operable on this side only. So there's not one on the other side. That would be an ambi. Now, this front assembly is different to the Gen 3. So, let me show you. Get my Gen 3 front assembly. So here is the Gen 3 front assembly. If we look at the Gen 4, slightly revised. I would actually argue that it's pretty similar. I was under the impression it was quite different. The only differences I can really see is this is a lot more scalloped back here on the Gen 3, whereas the Gen 4 has sort of a retaining lug in position there, which I guess supports the recoil guide rod. But other than that, there's a slight step on the back here, which isn't on the Gen 3. And other than that, it is basically the same. Very little difference in there. This lug is slightly larger on the Gen 3 than it is on the Gen 4. Some small changes, but nothing major. Other than that, looks pretty much the same. So, slight changes there, nothing hugely different though. So, other than that, obviously takedown levers all work in the same manner. Trigger bar's the same. The trigger obviously works in the same way. The nice thing that I do like with Tokyo Marui is they're starting to do more of this, where the trigger goes further back when the hammer falls. On very early Glock 17s, the trigger sort of reset a little bit further forwards. This is how they should sit when the weapon's been discharged. So I'm really pleased they've started to do that. And everything else working as it should. And also on the lower, you've got your safety catch, which is this sort of silver slider here, which obviously, you know, you're probably not going to use too much of, but if you want to use it, then great. So we'll pop that over one side for the moment. Let's have a look at the slide assembly. So on the slide, we've got our normal sights as we had on the Gen 3. I think the bow to barrel is actually pretty much the same. But we can see underneath here, this is a little bit different in that the recoil guide rod is, well, it's different. Now to remove it, what you want to do is push the recoil guide rod forward slightly and then rotate it round 90 degrees. And then you should be able to retract the guide rod there. Now the guide rod is all plastic, apart from there's a sort of a pot metal insert in the middle. This outer part is plastic here, and you notice there are 2 recoil springs. And again, these are designed to absorb the shock of the slide coming back on the real steel pistol. We can see what happens as the slide is obviously attached this end. As the slide comes back, you can see it starting to draw back the initial stage, and then after that, it starts to pull back on the second stage of springs to soften the recoil. Whereas a normal spring, you would have to have one spring which was just tough enough to do the job itself. Whereas here you've got it in 2 stages. You've got a really soft spring and then a much harder spring which does the sort of second take on that. At the back here, we've got sort of a rubber insert and a metal washer here. There's actually 2 rubber inserts here. So if you were looking to short stroke, you could obviously short stroke that further by putting more buffers in there if you wanted to. Other than that, though, it's a fairly standard affair. Outer barrel is very much like the Gen 3 in that it has these lugs here that I got really excited about last time. There's no different colouring on the outer barrel this time, though. The Gen 3, I noticed on both Gen 3s I got, yes, I had 2 of them. I was so impressed with the first one, I went and got another one. But they both had a kind of browny finish on the outer barrel. Now this has a bit of silver here, but I think that's just grease. I don't think that's actually anything else. Markings on the outer barrel, though, look a little different. We've got that different serial number, which I said about. And then on the top here, we've got the Glock AT 9x19, and there is a 3D emblem. Don't know what that means. I don't remember seeing it on the other one. In fact, have I got the other one to hand to look at? I'm not sure I have. If I can see it, I will get it out and show you guys, but I'm pretty sure the Gen 3 doesn't have that. But it is the same hop unit in that you obviously rotate these to adjust your hop up. And you've got a little arrow at the front there showing you which way the hop is on or off. This one's been applied quite a lot, actually. But either way, we'll adjust that as we go. That's better. Right. And on the slide, again, you've got these tracks in the slide to help the barrel go up and down. And we've got a metal insert here for the slide catch. There's a much larger metal lug at the front of here, which is obviously what takes the strain as the slide comes back and recoils. And then we've got our blowback unit, which, as far as I can tell, looks the same as the Gen 3 one. I happen to have a Gen 3 one just here. And we can see that they pretty much look the same. The only thing I will say is that there is a marking on the Gen 4 which says 174 just down there. Now I'm assuming that is Glock 17 Gen 4 because obviously they're going to use the same blowback unit as the 17 on the 19. The other difference I can see is that on the Gen 3, the little nub which operates the trigger bar, there's a little cutout, and then there's a flat section across here. Whereas on the Gen 4, there's like a recess. It pops up and then goes back down into a track and then pops back up at the end. So the trigger bar is sort of moving up and down as it goes. Quite why it's like that, I don't know. It might be something to do with how far the trigger sits back when the trigger has been pulled. But from what I can tell, it doesn't seem to be any reason why that's the case. So I'm sure I'll find out as I have this apart at some point. Nozzle and nozzle spring, usual Toka Marui affair. However, that is a bit gritty. It's not the smoothest. So I might need to have that out and have a look at that at some point. But yeah, it works. Because we've got a little bit of wear on here, but nothing too much. Right, well, let's reassemble the whole pistol. Put that over one side. So again, I'm going to rotate that round 90 degrees. Put that in first, and then rotate that round to then drop in. And there's a little lug which locates that in position. Then we can slide that back on. There we go. Now, I haven't actually fired this yet. You've literally witnessed me getting it out of the box. I have only quickly just checked it before I've gone on camera. I literally received this 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to gas the mag, and then we'll see what it's like. The mag was empty, so see how snappy it is. Yeah, nice and snappy, just like the Gen 3. Very snappy, very impressive for a plastic pistol. So yeah, great. Now, what I'm going to do now is we're going to talk about those back straps, which is sort of the main difference with the Gen 4. So, here's one of the largest back straps. Now, notice on the back of the back strap it does have the Glock emblem, which is nice. And you've got the same texturing as you have on the grip. Notice the texturing on the Gen 4 is different to the Gen 3. I'll show you my TM Gen 3 frame. Now you'll notice that obviously my Gen 3 seems to be in bits. And that's because, well, it's turned into a build, obviously. So here's my Gen 3 frame, and you can see the texturing is different between the two. You got this overall pattern texturing, whereas this one is just dots across it. We can also see on the front of the pistol, you've got these cutouts here with the texturing, whereas on the Gen 4 it's just some dotting. The front here as well, much deeper grooves in the trigger guard, and less so on the Gen 4. Other than that, basically identical between the two, other than obviously your magazine catch opening is a lot larger on the Gen 4 to accommodate the magazine catch. Now, fitting the backstrap, you'll notice on the bottom of the backstrap there are some little lugs, and they attach into this little mechanism at the back here. If we look at the Gen 3, it does not have that. It is just an open cavity. Now, on the Gen 4, we have this little latch system, which if I press in here, you can see that latch moves back. And that is what locks that into place. However, if we just put that in place there, you'll see that that fits on okay, but we can just pull that off. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to change this pin at the back here, and that's what this comes in that I was talking about earlier. So let's get our pin out. And we'll get our tool out. Now, I've not used the Token Marui tool before. It is plastic, so how good it's going to be, I don't know. But I'm going to leave the whole pistol together. Now, there is a hole in the back here, which I assume you can use to push with the pin to sort of give you more leverage. But, okay, it does work. And the pin did pop straight out. One thing that's interesting with this rear pin is that you can see the difference in length between the two there. It does have a little recess in the middle, which I don't remember seeing on the Gen 3. I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing that. So put this back on first. And then we'll put the pin in after. There we go. And then there's our back strap installed. Yeah, it seems it is easier just to put the pin in afterwards. And we've got a much larger grip there. We've got the beaver tail at the back there, protecting our hand from the slide, if that's your thing. And it's a bit of a different look. I think it looks terrible personally, but you know, it serves a purpose, as is all these things with the Glocks. So there we go. There is the Gen 4. So what I thought we'd do is, as with all of the reviews so far, people are always asking me about FPS. This should be vastly the same as the normal Gen 3. So we're going to check it out and see what the FPS is like. And, you know, we might try a little bit of shooting at some point and see what the accuracy is like. But, you know, for Token Marui's, I must admit, the Gen 3 was superb. So, right, I'll get it all set up and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so we're loaded up with 5. It's the industry standard, 0.20s. So let's see what we get FPS-wise. 276. 274, 271, 269, and 267. So, yeah, all around the 270 FPS range, pushing out about 1.7 joules, which is, yeah, what you expect for Token Marui. Pretty much every Token Marui I've ever tested is around that same, unless you're using different gas or upgrade parts. So, there we go then, guys. So that is the Gen 4. Now, again, if you guys would like to see a side-by-side comparison video between the Gen 3 and the Gen 4, do let me know. I can do that in the comments, so let me know. And we'll probably do a shooting test video between the two of them at some point at the same time as well. Just comparing the differences. And again, it's vastly the same pistol internals, so I don't see it being massively different. But again, if you'd like to see that video, do let me know. Please like, subscribe. Comment below if you've got any questions about the Gen 4. And also, you know, what should I do with it? Should we leave it? I've now got 2 Gen 3s, one of which has turned into a bit more of a project than I expected. The other one is also turning into a bit more of a project than I expected. So maybe I should leave this one stock and just enjoy it. This one's had a little bit more wear, but still working great. So, yeah, let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.